So as we look ahead to this 2021-22 NLL season, we finally got one. We've got Dhane Smith from the Buffalo Bandits joining us now. Dhane, it's been like 20 months since we've seen you guys on the floor. It has been way too long. It's going to be great to see you back. I mean, just walk people through what it's like to get together with your team again for training camp, knowing it has been so long.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And it's been a long time coming. Obviously, having the PLL happen in the past, whether it's a bubble and then a regular season, it's kind of one of those things that you miss the indoor game as well. You miss those teammates. You miss seeing those guys, playing with those guys, and having that shortened season. And I don't even know what year that was now, but having that shortened season when we were pretty good that year and thought we were going to make a run for it is unfortunate. But we brought back a lot of the same guys, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Is there anything like you can compare like the layoff to? Like, I guess, how do you approach it? Do you look back at what like you said, you had a good group. Does it feel like a brand new year, life? I guess I don't know. How do you look at this mentally going into this year now?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Even playing, obviously, field lacrosse all year round for the past 2 years or whatnot, playing the PLL, it's different to play indoor, and it's a lot quicker. Even for myself, obviously, I've had my stick in my hand, but you kind of aren't used to it, the pace of play, the physicality. But we've adjusted pretty well. John Tavares got our guys in shape, so we didn't have to do so coming into camp, and we're trying to figure it out pretty quick.
I mean, you mentioned it. Where's the rust factor? Like, it's been a minute since, I mean, anybody's played in a box arena. I mean, there's some guys played, I think Ontario had a bit of some kind of a summer box season, but for the most part, there haven't been a lot of chances for you guys.
Right, that's totally right. And you know what? It's one of those things that you can't really complain about because everybody's kind of going through it, and there's going to be some pains throughout the first probably few games. But we've had training camp. This is our 4th week going into. We've had some scrimmages and stuff like that, so it's kind of nice to kind of get your feet wet a little bit there. I remember probably three to 5 years ago when they asked me if I wanted to play a full scrimmage, I'd be like, no, I don't want to play a scrimmage. And now you're kind of being a veteran, even you're like, yeah, I want to play. I want to get like my reps and stuff like that. I want to be ready for December 4th.
And with, of course, the return of the NLL, it seemed only fitting that of the Chaos go out and win the PLL championship this past summer. What was that experience like? I'd imagine probably those are feelings, you know, saying, hey, like, we've got some good box guys, at least coming back, and then you go out and win the field side of things. That had to be quite the experience, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know what? And to do it with the group of the guys that we had, obviously defensively we had a great defense. A lot of Americans obviously on our defensive end, and then Blaze in that was unbelievable. But our offense is pretty much all Canadians or all box experienced guys. Even Mac O'Keefe being an American, but it was pretty cool to play with those guys. We kind of put in an offense that like nobody's ever seen before because we were playing it kind of like a box setting. And it kind of winning that championship was obviously one of the toughest things I've ever gone through, and it was the first pro championship I've won. And having I believe four of us, maybe 5 of us from Buffalo, kind of winning that, it's kind of cool to kind of bring into Buffalo that winning morale.
So I got to ask about the celebration because you guys are obviously a fun group, and I've seen plenty of the videos. You drank out of a shoe, Dhane. Whose shoe was it, and how did it taste?
That was Wesley Berg's shoe. I've never done that before. He was kind of just.
Was it used?
It was used, yes. Of course, I got caught on film, and now it's like a meme or whatever. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. It wasn't my best performance, but at that point, you do almost anything when you win a championship.
Hey, Dhane will even drink out of a shoe. That's, I mean, you win a title. So if you win an indoor one, is this like now just the thing?
Yeah, it's gonna be a ritual. I'm gonna bring it to somebody else. I might not be the one doing it, but you'll definitely see somebody doing it.
Like, were there sock particles? Like, what's going? Like, were there sock particles? Like, I've got so many questions. Were there sock pieces of turf or whatever, grass? Like,
Yeah, the more I think about it, it's probably disgusting. It definitely wasn't my proudest moment by any means, but again, at the end of the day, I won a championship, so I can't complain.
We could take you back to a slightly more serious note here. I remember when you first were playing in Major League Lacrosse with Rochester, and it was like sporadic because you were in upstate and they needed guys, and so you came in the summer. And I remember thinking, all right, he's starting to kind of get a feel. When did it click for you? Because it seemed like it certainly did in the PLL this year. Like, when did it click for you that, hey, I really feel comfortable in the field game professionally?
Yeah, you know what? Sudan took a chance on me in Rochester, and I give him all the credit in the world because I wouldn't be here today without him and the guys around me. But it took me a bit. When I got invited to play in the PLL, it was awesome, but I kind of took a back seat. I was kind of like, oh, like I'm here, but like I don't want to step on anybody's toes. These guys have been playing field a lot longer than me, so I'm just gonna sit back and I'll do my part and kind of thing. And then the bubble kind of hit, and I felt like I took on a different role, and I needed to kind of play better and be myself more like. And I guess when the playoffs kicked around, I played pretty well, and then I kind of leading into this season, I was kind of, they put more of a pressure on me to be one of the guys, and with that, it just kind of helped my game, and they had a lot of confidence in me, and they kind of just, again, like they made it easy for me to play, and I took that next step.
That familiarity and continuity, I can imagine, was probably something that helped too. You know, with some of your teammates from Buffalo, like you said, a lot of the Canadian-style guys, the Iroquois guys too. Like that probably, I'm sure, made you feel more comfortable and maybe making that next step. I'd imagine just the experience in itself to be with those guys in that room.
Right, that's it. Like offensively, again, we threw an offense that nobody's ever seen before because we're all box guys. So we knew where we were going to be beforehand. We've been doing it since we've been 4 or 5 years old. So the sets are very similar, and we kind of put it into the field game. So that's where I felt the most comfortable, and I think all of us did as well. And just having the coaches kind of be like, okay, this is what needs to happen, and they trusted us, and we trusted them, and obviously when things weren't working well, then they would have more of a say. But again, we got to give credit to the coaches because they legit let us play the way we wanted to play.
You speak of Canada, and you had a chance to play the new World Lacrosse Sixes. And for somebody who is comfortable playing box and obviously now comfortable playing field, how do you feel out what Sixes is as a game if you try to find a spot for it between box and field?
Yeah, you know what? It's awesome. It's really quick. It happens so fast. You can't really celebrate after goals. That's for sure. It's pretty nice because it pretty much is box with bigger nets. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure how much the goalies like it, but us offensive guys, we like it as a lot. It's a really cool idea. It's really fast. There's a few rules that probably need to change between now and obviously the Olympics, but it was really fun in Baltimore playing that.
What would you tweak then if you said maybe some things have to transition a little bit? Like this is part of the feeling out process as we get there. What do you think maybe could get a little bit better when it comes to the Sixes format?
So what I found needed to be switched a little bit was they kind of did equal pressure for defenders. So they made it so it's not a defensive game by any means. And I'm all for, like, yeah, you want to see a lot of scoring and stuff like that, but you can still see it, like, with the field being so big, you're going to see some goals, but like for defenders not being able to cross check or kind of like hit you or slash you a little bit. I mean, as offense guy, I should love that. But that being said, I'm gonna have to play defense as well. So it's really hard to kind of find that happy fine line, but equal pressure kind of isn't the right way to kind of go about it, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we've talked to some offensive guys who have been stuck back on defense. I love getting your perspective because it is something that whether you played field for a long time or box for a long time, it's a bit of a different animal, right? Being back there.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things you try not to panic. You look around and usually you have a defender that can kind of help you, but you're looking around and it's like all offensive guys. And we're like, okay, like we got to bear down here, but it's really fun. It completes your game. I know when I came into the NLL, I was a defender first. Well, they kind of made me into one, and I think it helped my game tremendously. So if I could teach any kids to kind of play all around, you can't be just an offensive threat. So it's helped my game out a lot, and it translates a lot.
I have one more question about the Bandits as we get ready for the season. Biggest impression in camp so far for you guys? Who's made the impact? 39-year-old Matt Vince? Is it Dehoga? Like what's going on inside those walls?
You know what? Yeah, Vino comes in. Obviously, he's in the best shape in the whole NLL, but he hasn't disappointed me since day one. Obviously, he looks better than he was before, which is kind of crazy to say. But to be honest, a guy that I mean, obviously Dehoga. He's gonna probably put up 30 his rookie year. He's an unbelievable player as well. But a guy that kind of I find helps our team the most is Kyle Buchanan, coming from San Diego. He's one of those players. He's just a water bug. He picks up every loose ball. He sets picks. He scores goals. He's just like an all-around player, and he brings that veteran leadership to our team, which is what we need.
Yeah, I got to keep a running tally now of where everybody is. There have been so many changes in the last 20 months. But Dhane Smith making sure we know who's on the Buffalo Bandits this year. Dhane, hey, man, we said it at the beginning, cannot wait for the NLL season to finally start here December 4th. Good luck as you get ready, and we'll talk to you sometime here down the road.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, and go Bandits.